Sure. Thank you so much. Construction is one of the original forms of precarious employment. Uncertainty, low income, and limited social benefits have all been hallmarks of work in that industry for a long, long time. In Texas, the demographic realities and the political realities make construction even more precarious. We have incredibly low union density, a hostile political environment for working people. And in Texas, according to a study done in collaboration with the University of Texas, at least 50% of the construction workforce is undocumented. As a result, Texas has the deadliest construction industry in the country. We lose a working man or woman to that industry every 2.5 days. In Texas, over 60% of the workforce has never received basic safety training, and 1 in 5 have suffered an on-the-job injury that requires medical attention. We're still up to 50% of working people in the construction industry earn poverty-level wages, and 1 in 5 have been victims of wage theft. Good afternoon. My name is Jose Garza, and I'm the Executive Director of Workers' Defense Project. And even in that incredibly challenging environment, for over 10 years, Workers' Defense and our members have been fighting and winning on behalf of working families throughout the state. We have recovered millions of dollars in wages, provided life-saving safety training to thousands of working people, won policy victories at the state and local level that raise standards for working people, and elected worker-friendly candidates. And you may be wondering how we've done that, and that question, I think, is particularly relevant going into 2017, because as I woke up the day after the election, it occurred to me that the country looks a lot more like Texas does starting into next year. And I do think that there are some lessons that we have learned that may be useful to all of us as we look to our future. The first thing that we have done relentlessly is organize. We have invested in it. We believe deeply that by building people power, we can build economic power, and by building economic power, we can build political power. We have not been afraid to confront companies, corporations, and our elected officials in the street. And that, I think, has given us some momentum and some credibility. We've also innovated some important programs that have allowed us to change the structures around the construction industry. One such program is called the Better Builder Program. The Better Builder Program attacks the fissured nature of the construction industry by setting basic standards on construction work sites, regardless of employer, regardless of whether the people working on that site are employees at all. The Better Builder Program also has the added benefit of being a revenue generating model for our organization. So the more wins we have with that program, the better able we are to sustain and build on our people power. Since 2012, 8 private employers have signed Better Builder agreements, and those agreements have resulted in good, safe jobs for close to 9,000 working men and women in the construction industry in the state of Texas. Starting last year, Workers' Defense Project pivoted to a new phase of our Better Builder campaign and efforts. In addition to focusing on the private sector, we have realized that obviously the public sector is an incredible consumer of construction. And so we have demanded that when local governments, when school boards, when city councils, when county governments spend our money on construction projects, we have demanded that they create good, safe jobs. The basic tenets of the Better Builder Program is that everyone on the work site, regardless of employer, must earn at least a living wage. They must receive basic safety training, OSHA 10, OSHA 30 for supervisors. You may know that Texas is the only state in the country where employers can opt out of the workers' compensation program entirely, so not only do they not, are they not part of the state's program, but they also don't carry private workers' compensation insurance. So on Better Builder sites, all employees, all working people must be covered by workers' compensation. And then finally, third-party independent monitoring to make sure that, that the developers are living up to the bargain that they've struck. So it is one model that has been successful for us. We are in the midst of campaigns in Dallas. We are opening an office in Houston, Texas within a month, and hope to be beginning that work in Houston as well. And I will also mention that we are currently in the process of doing a study throughout the southern United States to ascertain what working conditions are like in Miami, in Nashville, in Atlanta, and in Charlotte, in Dallas and Houston. And we'll be releasing the results of that study early next year. And our hope is that the facts that we find can form the factual basis with which we can begin conversations with policymakers throughout the U.S. South. So we think there is incredible promise for that model and for some of the lessons we have learned in the state of Texas. I should stop and say that we have not done this alone. We have done it with our allies in the Texas building trades and the labor movement throughout the state and here in Washington, D.C. We have done it in collaboration with faith leaders throughout the state, and we have done it in collaboration with employers who understand that investing in working people is not only the right thing to do, but the smart thing to do, and understand that if their competitors are cheating, they can't compete. So we're incredibly excited about what we have won to this point, but we know there's much work ahead of us, and we look forward to working with many of you to get it done.